Today on Primetime Local News, we meet the new Director of Education for LPSD. And a look ahead to this week's CPCA action as we're heading into the final stretch of the season. Plus, Chris King is in studio talking Lakeland Rustlers basketball.
Primetime Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Turning to local news now, the Lloydminster Public School Division has now appointed a new Director of Education to kick off the upcoming school year. Jason Neville accepted the position and began responsibilities on August 1st. He held the Superintendent of Student Sports position at the Horizon School Division before this. Jason is excited to work with the Public School Division and for what's ahead on his first new school year.
But it's also very humbling in the fact that Lloydminster, the size it is, being an urban division, I'm sure it was a very sought-after position. So for the board to choose me is pretty surreal. And my goal is to learn as much as I can in the first few months here, see our schools, get into all the schools, meet as many staff and students as I can. And then going from there, just working with our senior leadership team and really moving Lloydminster Public School Division forward.
From his experience as a superintendent, Jason had many leadership and team member roles. He has also led certain projects to benefit students in the past, like violent risk protocols and mental health frameworks in schools. LPSD plans to bring these projects into the division using the supports we have in the Lloydminster community.
With the high school project, the expansion, that I'm really looking forward to diving into and seeing that from kind of beginning to end. That and then the sport academies, that's something that and art academies, something I never had the privilege, I guess, to see in my last divisions. So I just want to see how that works and just those different pieces that'll bring for students. So.
The board is looking forward to working with Jason as the new Director of Education and for how he'll benefit the division. The BioQueen Aquatics Center will be closing down for its annual maintenance once again in August. Starting on August 22nd, the BioQueen Aquatics Center will be closed for maintenance. The pool will reopen on the 25th of September after upgrades have been made to the facility. These upgrades include interior painting, locker replacement, tile repair, and extensive cleaning. Memberships will be put on hold during the time period. Leo Perry, Director of Communications for the city, says the annual maintenance takes place this late in August. As it'll have the littlest impact on regular user groups, and visits to the pool are usually down anyways during the back-to-school season. The For the Interval store is part of the Lloydminster Interval Home Society. The store is going through a period of growth, and with that, they are in need of more volunteers. I'm pleased to be joined today on Primetime Local News with Krista Mullally. She is the Director of Social Enterprise for the Lloydminster Interval Home Society. And we're talking today about the For the Interval store here in Lloydminster. They're going through a period of growth, so we're checking in to see how things are going. And Krista, I guess I'll start with getting you to give us a little bit of a rundown on what the For the Interval store is for those who don't know too much about it.
For the Interval store is a local, not-for-profit social enterprise, their thrift store that's been in operation for just over 32 years here in Lloydminster. We're part of the Lloydminster Interval Home Society, and we're really born out of a group of volunteers that saw a need to be able to support community through a thrift store type operation.
All right, and you mentioned social enterprise, so we'll kind of hop in right there. I know there's a need for more volunteers at the For the Interval store. Can you talk a little bit about why you need the volunteers and a little bit more about that kind of social enterprise aspect of what the store is, basically?
Sure. So lots of folks probably aren't that familiar with the term social enterprise. And a social enterprise, for me to describe for folks, is really a specific and specialized business model that only exists within the not-for-profit sector. Not-for-profits by their very nature can't make profit. And so a social enterprise is really a CRA designation under that you can get to be able to generate revenue within a not-for-profit organization, with the understanding and the caveat that all the revenue that is then generated through the business operation, no matter what type of business it is reinvested into the operations of the organization. And so for us for the Interval Home and the Interval Home Society and our store and all of our programs, the Lloydminster Community Youth Center, all of our outreach programs, all of our child play programs, our public education, etc. Lots and lots of programs that we operate here in community. They are all part of the society that we as a social enterprise business really invest in. And so we support parts of our organization that are either unfunded or underfunded through the revenue that we generate through the donations that we receive at both the Impact Depot and then sell over at For the Interval store. So Jace, just to add to that, I know you got a burning question right there. And I think that our need for volunteers really comes from that balance between having paid staff and volunteers that support us. I think we've got a really, really big operation here. And I think that I certainly know that if we were to hire the amount of paid staff to operate everything we need to, there really wouldn't be much left over operationally to invest in our organization.
Well, it seems like it's a very kind of exciting time For the Interval store. Lots of growth and positive changes. For people who are interested in learning more, possibly volunteering, where should they go to get some more information?
Absolutely. So we have volunteer opportunities throughout our entire organization, not just at the store, at both of our stores, but we make it really easy for folks to sign up to be volunteers. They just need to go to our website. Super simple. There's a button on our website that says apply to volunteer. It's an online application. We use actually a Canadian database where all of our volunteer applications are held. And here's the real cool thing is that we don't schedule our volunteers as to when we want them to come. We really leave it up to folks. They're donating their time, they're donating their energy and enthusiasm to us as an organization. So we want people to be able to feel comfortable to self-select when they've got time to come and help us out. It's all done through an online portal. And for anyone who's scared of that kind of stuff, it's actually really, really easy and really simple. So all of our volunteer opportunities, not just at the Impact Depot and For the Interval store, but we've got some cool events coming up organization-wide in the fall. And those will be certainly listed there as well for people to volunteer and help us out at. It's, our community, we rely on our community. It's like this circular, lovely relationship where we're here to help and support in any which way that we can, both from the retail and the store side, but all of our programs and services that we provide and offer. And, the reciprocal relationship in that is that we need help from the community too. And we certainly, are overwhelmed at times with the amount of donations we get. But in order for us to be able to do a good job of, getting the right items onto the floor for folks to purchase, we need some help with that. So I would encourage anyone that is looking for something that you've never done before in a really interesting, a lot of real fun happens here in a cool environment, certainly check us out.
The newly opened Impact Depot has had a positive impact for the Interval store's operations, and I'll discuss this further tomorrow on Primetime Local News. The CPCA season is into its final 2 weeks, with more on the event this week, and the CPCA finals fast approaching next week. Here's Thomas Wildman.
Meadow Lake is the last stop on the CPCA tour before the finals that will be taking place here in Lloydminster. And to discuss that upcoming show, as well as the finals, we have Greg Buchanan, the radio voice of the CPCA, here to talk to us about that show, as well as the show that took place last week at Poundmaker. So thank you so much for being with us once again today, Greg.
Yeah, the Poundmaker show that was originally scheduled for North Battleford. Jamie Labicane, the beat goes on for him. He continues to lead the way in the point standings. It's been kind of a give and take between him and Logan Gorse. Now Jamie wins the dash, wins the aggregate, and wins everything there was to win in Poundmaker on the weekend on a 4-day show. He ends up with 20.5 points better than Logan Gorse on top of the point standings. Now Logan goes home. He is Meadow Lake driver, going to go home for 3 days with a chance to kind of nip on the heels of Jamie Labicane, maybe overtake him on the top spot. But Jamie's running very well. Expect more of the same here this weekend in a 3-day show.
It just being a quick 3-day show, there's probably not as many points to grab as there would have been at Poundmaker because it was a longer show. But also just how important is each and every day of this show for those, even from 15th place all the way up to first place at Jamie Labicane.
It's that time of the season right now when you kind of look back to maybe those points you left on the table in June and July that are going to come to haunt you down in August. But it's 3 days here. Then actually, it's a 5-day show for the new Lloydminster Nissan CPCA finals beginning on Wednesday. But out of those 5 days, there's only 4 days of points. So if you look at it, 3 days in Meadow Lake, 4 days in Lloyd, you get 7 more point days left to move up in the standings or stay where you are. Like a Jamie Labicane, he doesn't want to go down. He's on top spot. And if you're in that top 4, you want to stay in that top 4. But you're outside the top 4, you want to get up there. Luke Tournier is one that's 19 points back of 4th spot with Preston Faithful in that 4th spot. So he's looking to move up, and he's only got a precious few more nights. One of the stories, though, in Poundmaker, as much as we talk about Jamie, we talk about the points, was the story of a second-year driver in Cale Lajeunesse who wins his first day money on Friday, and he betters that the next night with his second straight day money win. So it was quite the weekend for Cale Lajeunesse. He comes in to Meadow Lake, his hometown show, 14th in the driver standings. It's been a sensational season for Cale.
And then going into the finals, there's 4 days, as you said, of point days. So those are extremely important. And then how does the finals all work out? How does it end up for the drivers who are in those top 4 spots and those drivers who are on the outside looking in on that exciting final day at the CPCA finals?
On Saturday, the end of the racing on Saturday night, the top 4 drivers in the point standings, not the show standings, but in the point standings, will then race Sunday afternoon championship Sunday for the right to be called a Canadian champion. So the top 4 drivers all season long will be determined at the end of the racing Saturday night, and they'll race for a brand new vehicle from the new Lloydminster Nissan that's being crowned the Canadian champion.
We're coming down to the end of the season, and it's always going to be exciting. And be sure to check out the new Lloydminster Nissan CPCA finals. That will be taking place at the Lloydminster exhibition. And so thank you, as always, to be with us, Greg, and we hope that we will have some more exciting talks about the CPCA coming up right away.
It's going to be exciting next few days here.
And now it's time to check in with the lovely Shelby Clark, who has a first look at your evening weather forecast.
Thank you so much to the handsome Mr. Jace Mackey for that intro. Yes, now taking a first look at your weather forecast here in the border city. Still continuing that nice warm streak. We are just sitting at 21, and we are seeing a lot more of a sunnier day once again from what we were kind of looking at yesterday. Although for today, we aren't seeing too much of those strong winds outside, so it is feeling a lot warmer. So hopefully everybody's enjoying their beautiful day here in the border city, because we are seeing some nice days coming up as well for the rest of the week. Switching now to the temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, we are slightly seeing the same conditions as what we had been looking at yesterday. Most spots just seeing that 22-degree mark in most spots over on this end. 23 for Wainwright over in Edmonton and up in Bonnyville, while there's 21 up in Lac La Biche. But all spots are just seeing past 20, so still looking quite warm for today. Right now on the Saskatchewan side, they are slightly matching with us for those temperatures, with those 21s and 22s across the map here as we go a little bit along the end. Pearson is just at 23, so just a degree warmer as we go lower to Macklin. They are seeing the warmest there with 24 degrees. And now switching for our North Battleford here, they will be going down to a low of 8 for their evening low temperature. So they will be seeing that single digit for their evening low, but seeing a nice calm night, not seeing any too much crazy conditions throughout the evening. Then tomorrow they'll be looking at 24, so warming up just slightly, and then seeing a mixture of some sun and cloud, and seeing a high chance of that precipitation to kind of cool things down. Cold Lake will be going out to a low of 10, so seeing that double digit come back for Cold Lake for their evening low. Then it'll be 26 tomorrow, so warming up quite a bit from what they are sitting at today. They will be seeing a little bit more sun throughout the day. Meanwhile, they saw a little mixture, some sun and cloud today, but tomorrow they will be expecting to see a lot more of a sunnier skies throughout it. And for us here in the Border City, we'll be seeing a nice evening tonight. We'll be going down to that low of 11, so seeing those double digits once again. Then tomorrow we'll be seeing 25, so warming up even. This is what I was saying with seeing some more beautiful days coming up here in the Border City for the week. We will be seeing a mixture of some sun and clouds, so get ready. It's going to be quite beautiful tomorrow as well. Finally here for our August month, seeing those summer days that we've all been waiting to see. Now ending off with a beautiful look at one of your weather photo submissions. Thank you to everyone that have submitted some nice weather shots already to our Facebook page. You can continue to do so. I will use them on my weather segments, and this one is from Vanessa in Saskatoon. Thank you for this gorgeous shot. Love seeing those nice colors in the sky. And that's all I have for now. We'll have more coming up after the break.
It's been over 4 months since the Lakeland Rustlers women's basketball squad capped off a historic season, winning a provincial title and earning a medal at nationals for the first time in team history. Well, our Adil Ahmed sat down in studio with head coach Chris King to talk more about Rustlers basketball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man to my left is in his 14th season as the head coach for the Lakeland Rustlers Women's Basketball Club. He's a 5-time ACAC Coach of the Year, recently just won CCAA Coach of the Year as well, and led the Rustlers to back-to-back champions for the first time in team history. Chris King, appreciate you kind of taking time to come into the studio today and join the program.
Thanks for having me. You make me sound important. I'm just kind of back there watching those games. I'm not doing that much.
No, you're a big staple, obviously, here in the city of Lloydminster and in the community, aside, obviously with the basketball club. But first off, let's just kind of talk about last season, Chris. Yeah. You guys had a undefeated season. You guys went 16-0. You were first in the division, and then you obviously got the ACAC champions there, and then finished off with bronze at nationals. Just when you kind of look back now that we're in August here, just what do you kind of take away from that season as a whole?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. That season seemed like 2 full years when you wrap COVID into it. It seemed like that drug out forever, and then it really sped up at the end. But very fortunate to have such a strong team. We had really good leadership that really helped us push through, and the league became very young after COVID. So we did a good job of staying focused, and because we're coming off a championship and we were aiming for another championship, the goals stayed pretty tight. So the girls did a good job through COVID and then through that last season. And super proud of them. There's not very often you get a chance to not only win your conference, but have a shot to win at nationals. And for them to bring back a medal our first time at nationals was really amazing for them.
Yeah, certainly. Well, obviously, you guys won back-to-back, and that was no other team has done that since 2003 when the Mount Royal Cougars did that, obviously. So pretty well-rounded season for you guys as a whole there. But going into this upcoming season here, it's going to be a full season for you guys, and you guys will be playing both the North and South conferences for the first time in over 10 years. So just when you kind of wrap all those things up together and having a full season again, just what do you kind of make out of that, and what do you think some of those challenges will be for you guys kind of in this upcoming season?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's exciting that we get to play everyone. Usually we only get to see the South teams in exhibition or at Christmas or come playoffs. So I'm really excited. We did this 7-8 years ago where this system used to be in play. The more style of play you see, the better off you are equipped for playoffs or national championships. I think basketball is a much different sport than a lot of others in the sense that teams could play fast or slow or big or small. So I'm really excited to see that, especially with a young group. We need to play a lot of games. We need to get a lot of experience. We need to get our butts kicked in some games. We need to have tight games, and we need to figure out, who can we depend on and who are we. So a lot of this year for us will be finding our identity. Now, keep in mind, we have 8 players returning from a championship team, and all they know is winning. So that bar is going to be set very high, and then we have a bunch of young girls coming in that are excited to be there and want to be a part of a championship team. So as a coach, I'm trying to weigh those two things together and build for essentially February, March when playoffs come.
Yeah, exactly. You just mentioned 8 players are returning from that nationals team there, but there are about at least 3 that aren't returning, and those are some of the really important players that have been a part of your club for the last 5 years, which is Tori Dugan, Belge Tobalagu, and then Jaden Cook as well. Just when you kind of see, players of that kind of caliber kind of move on and stuff like that, and you're kind of looking at more of a younger group here this year, what do you kind of take from that, and just, you know, what do you think some challenges will kind of come across for you and will make your team a little bit better moving forward?
Yeah, I think when you have players that old, you don't realize how lucky you are. You've coached them for so long. You've went through all the wars together. They know what's expected of them, and they know what I expect as a coach. Tori and Bilge, obviously two of the best players in Canada, bar none for their position. They showed that at Nationals. They showed it every game last year. Jaden was one of the best shooters in the conference. So if you look at it, on the downside is we lost probably 35 to 40 points a game of our 65 points. That's a lot to lose. It's exciting for someone's going to have to replace that. But as a coach, when you're in the moment, you realize how lucky you are to have veteran leadership like that and players that can get you a win or get you a possession or get you a bucket at any given time just because they've been through that. So with this new group coming up, we're looking at them the same way we looked at Tori and Jaden and Bill Gay. Is these are going to be the kids that are going to help us for the next 3 or 4 years, and we got to find the leadership in that group and really build that foundation. So it's exciting. As a coach, we get to throw a lot of stuff at the board, but I don't just get to say, hey, Tori, pick and roll with Bill Gay and we're going to get a pretty good shot, right? Yeah. So it's a little tougher that way.
Exactly. Well, you kind of mentioned how there's players returning from nationals this year. So with, you know, those players kind of moving on from the team now, and you still have some players kind of returning to the squad, who are you as a coach, like, who are you expecting to kind of see kind of take that leadership role in this upcoming season here?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Haley Summers, obviously last year was an all-conference player for us, and her play really started to elevate last year. She's the lone fifth year returning. We have another fifth year coming back, but she's the lone one that's been here the whole time. So I expect her to lead and to be very strong. She's one of the top defenders in the league and a very physical guard. I think Alana Olson from Maidstone, our local product here, has a chance to step into a bigger role if she can stay healthy. She was a little bit unhealthy with injuries last year, but was instrumental to our success as a team. And then I think Lena Garda from Edmonton, our 6'4", you know, she battled with Bill Gay all year in practice, and we saw her development really rise, and she played pretty well at nationals. So now she's going to be forced into a starting spot, and there's going to be a lot more pressure on her. So those three girls, I think, they have to be the nucleus, and they really have to keep us together on the floor at the same time.
Certainly. Well, it's an exciting time, obviously. You guys have a younger group kind of going into this upcoming season here with the club. You'll kind of have a chance to see the Rustlers take on the national champion Natives in their first home game of the season on Saturday, October 22nd at 6 o'clock on ACAC TV. And again, Chris, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk with me. We'll see you guys in the upcoming season.
Thanks so much.
Welcome back to Pet Project This Week, everyone. I'm joined once again with Nicole from the Border Paws Animal Shelter. How's everything going over there this week, Nicole?
It's going really, really good. A little bit cooler this week, so I think the animals are liking the breeze.
Well, that's great to hear. Yes, I will say I am also enjoying the weather this week. It's like perfect out there. Not too hot, but we're not in the chilly fall season yet, so I'm sure the animals are also loving it. Well, jumping right into things this week, we have a very special guest. Oh my goodness, so adorable, so fluffy. I'll lead into that, but I'll let you go ahead and introduce our friend this week.
So this is Marshmallow. We think he's about a 6-month-old puppy. He's a Collie Cross, we believe. Very energetic. So far, he seems to be okay with other dogs. I mean, we would always ask if you had another dog to bring them down to meet first, just to make sure. Seems pretty good with kids. Although he is a big puppy, he's going to be quite big because he's only 6 months old now. So probably going to at least double, possibly triple in size.
Yeah, Marshmallow honestly looks like such a sweet dog. I had a Border Collie growing up, and they are wonderful dogs. Like you mentioned, very active. So if you're somebody out there who's looking for a dog to play with, maybe a dog to take on runs with you every day, you know, a Border Collie is a great type of dog breed for that because they can actually keep up with you if you're a very active person. So a lot better for those long runs than, say, Chihuahua. So beautiful. If you're interested, certainly stop in, say hi to Marshmallow. What an adorable dog there. So moving on to our next topic here, Nicole. So you guys had an event going on the last couple of weeks, which was the Pick a Flower event. So I'll just kind of let people know how that all went.
So it went on too bad. I know a lot of people are away on vacation right now, so it makes it a little harder. But I believe in total we ended up getting over 20 animals out, so that was really nice to see.
Yeah, that's great results, honestly. That's, 20 animals who didn't have a home before who have a home now, and 20 people who didn't have a best friend who now do at a discounted price. So that's really great to hear. And if you missed out on that, you don't have to worry because there is another event coming up here right away. So once again, Nicole, I'll let you fill people in on what they can look forward to.
So yeah, next week, next Monday, throughout the whole week, we're going to have a Clear Our Shelter event. It's going to be for cats because we are so full. We actually had to stop intaking cats because we're that full. So you can get kittens for $100 instead of the $200. Adult cats are going to be $50. And any of our long residents, so meaning any of the cats that have been here for over 90 days, are actually only going to be $20. If you'd like to donate more, we appreciate it. But yeah, we just have the minimum pricing there. So hopefully we can clear our shelter out to make room for all the new cats that need to come in.
Absolutely. So, it's always a bummer to hear that you guys are full and you're unable to take new animals in. But for anybody out there who has been looking for a cat, this is probably your best time, obviously. Getting a kitten for half price, getting an adult cat for so cheap, or those long residents for $20, getting a cat for $20 is, wow, that is an amazing deal. You can't get them better than that. So, if you've been waiting on it, some of those longer residents have been waiting a while to find a home too. So maybe stop by, pick one out, find which one could be your forever friend, and, certainly try to take one home if you like. Perfect. So you guys have one thing going on right now that is so cool, so exciting. You guys have a contest going on, and we kind of discussed it last week, but we'll just bring it up again because it's so awesome, and I'm really excited to see the results. So the Alumni Picture Contest, Nicole, I'll let you once again remind people what you guys are looking for as far as that goes.
So yeah, we've been getting lots of submissions and the staff absolutely loves it. I mean, each day we go through all the submissions and look at all the updates. It's quite heartwarming. So yeah, you can send in up to the 14th. We can send in pictures of your animals you had adopted here. And then on the 15th, we are going to post them on Facebook and let the public vote. And then on the 20th, we will announce the winner. And we're going to pick first, second, and third prize for both cats and dogs.
There you go. So, and obviously that's for any animal who's ever been adopted from the Border Paws Animal Shelter, or formerly known as the Lloydminster SPCA. So, if you got an adorable dog there 5 years ago, don't think it's, been too long. Snap some cute pictures. I'm sure you probably have hundreds of them saved in your phone. Maybe find your best one to submit. So, certainly anybody out there with an adorable animal that they got from the SPCA or the Border Paws Animal Shelter, take some pics, send them in. I'm really excited to see all of them. It's a really great contest, and really goes to show, what a great effect that an organization like this has on the community, how many, happy homes they have helped create. So that's unfortunately all the time we have for this week, Nicole, but I want to thank you for stopping by. I want to thank Marshmallow for being such a sweet boy and, sitting pretty for this whole interview. So thank you guys so much, and we'll speak with you again next week.
Pet Project is sponsored by the Pet Pad. For total pet care, think Pet Pad.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
I'm proud to introduce to the program the foster coordinator at Per Babies, Cassidy Urchuk. Cassidy, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Why is there such an urgent need for fosters?
So currently, Per Babies is closed for intake because we don't have enough foster homes. One of the main reasons is we don't have a building or shelter like most other rescues. Per Babies is strictly foster based, so we rely on foster homes to help us out because we don't have anywhere else to keep the cats that we rescue. So that's one of the big reasons why we really rely on the fosters and really need them.
So do you think the amount of intakes has increased at all due to the pandemic?
I think that definitely plays a part. I know I've heard with other rescues that the intakes have been increasing, lots with surrenders, animals that were adopted during the pandemic being surrendered back to the rescues. Thankfully, we haven't had too many cats returned, which is great, but we do have a big list of cats needing to be rescued and come in. And unfortunately, with summer and everything, everybody's on holidays, so we don't have as many fosters as we usually do. But yeah, I think that definitely does play a part.
When you look for a new foster, what exactly is Purr Babies looking for?
Just somebody who has a big heart, is willing to open up their home to an animal in need. It is recommended that the foster has a spare room, just because when we take in a cat, like I said, we don't have a shelter or building to put them in, so they do need to be isolated for 2 weeks. So when they go into a foster home, it's a lot easier if you have a spare room to keep them in, to isolate them from your pets, just to be monitored for any signs of illness or anything. And not every cat comes in sick, but they also need to be vaccinated as well. So we just isolate them for at least 2 weeks. So having a spare room is really helpful. And we do supply everything for you. So the litter, the food, litter boxes, toys, fostering is completely free. So yeah, basically just somebody who's willing to open up their home. And all you have to do is provide basically just water and lots of love and cuddles. And yeah.
So what do you think the benefits are of fostering an animal?
It's definitely educational, I would say. You learn a lot through fostering, and it's fun. I mean, I don't know anybody that doesn't love kitty snuggles. You get lots of snuggles, you get to play with the cats, and it's definitely also very rewarding. You know, if you get a cat that is super timid and shy, you can help them get more comfortable and warm up to other people and help them kind of open up a bit and maybe not be so shy and timid. Or, if there's a cat that is super sick or injured when they come in, you get to help nurse them back to health and get them ready for their home and get them ready for adoption. And it's super rewarding, helping them get better and helping them along their journey to a better life and a healthy life. So I would say the benefits are it's very educational, rewarding, and fun.
What does the organization do when they can't find fosters? Like, how does that impact the organization?
We have to close our intake. We can't rescue any more cats until we get more fosters. So unfortunately, we can't rescue the ones that need to be saved, and we just have to hopefully get adoptions in order to open more foster homes up. But adoptions are also slow again with summer and rescues being full and everything. So.
Well, you've definitely answered all my questions today. Is there anything you would like to add that I've missed?
I would just say that if you are interested in fostering, you can go to the Purr Babies Forever Homes website. It's purrbabiesforeverhomes.com, and that's where you will find the foster applications and the adoption applications. And there's also frequently asked questions listed on the site. You can look at them too. And then you can also email us through the website as well if you do have any more questions about adopting or about fostering. There's a link on the website, and you can just send the email and it'll automatically email to us.
Well, thank you again so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, that's all the time we have for our first hour of Primetime Local News. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our second hour continues next.